Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a continuously regenerated biological marvel that you carry around inside you every single day. Yeah, we're talking about blood. But we're going to look at it from a completely different perspective than you might be used to. Get ready to totally rethink what's running through your veins right now.
Okay, let's jump right in. Thanks to pop culture and, those cute cartoon bats, we usually only think about blood when we're watching a horror movie or when we accidentally get a paper cut. But honestly, its actual scientific function is way more fascinating than anything you'll see around Halloween. It's a highly complex, continuously regenerated liquid connective tissue that literally keeps your body functioning, second by second.
To really wrap our heads around this superfluid, we're going to deconstruct it step by step. We'll look at its general characteristics, how it transports, protects, and regulates, and then we'll literally deconstruct it, focusing on the power of plasma and those incredible cellular workhorses. We're starting big picture and spinning it all the way down to the microscopic level.
All right, so starting with general characteristics and the big picture. Before we zoom into the microscopic stuff, we really need to understand the macroscopic statistics of this incredible connective tissue.
Think about your own body for just a second. The crucial takeaway here is that blood makes up roughly 7% of your total body weight. If we break that down into sheer volume, that's about 5 to 6 liters for adult males and 4 to 5 liters for adult females. That is a massive amount of fluid continuously pumping through your cardiovascular system right now, traveling from your heart through the arteries and looping all the way back. And, it behaves so differently from the water we drink. Blood has high viscosity, which just means it's remarkably thick, roughly 3 times thicker than pure water, actually. Plus, it's definitely not chemically neutral. Your body meticulously maintains your blood at a slightly alkaline pH, keeping it strictly balanced within a super narrow window of 7.35 to 7.45. Even a tiny deviation from that window, that can have massive impacts on your health. Moving on to how blood transports, protects, and regulates. It really is the body's ultimate highway. It's just wild to think about the massive logistical problems this fluid elegantly solves for us. It performs 3 critical, life-sustaining functions all at the same time. First up, transportation. It acts like an endless highway system, moving vital oxygen, essential nutrients, chemical messengers like hormones, and even dissolved waste to wherever they need to go. Second, protection. It's a highly mobilized security force. It uses white blood cells to hunt down microscopic pathogens, while platelets protect against physical blood loss. And third, regulation. It manages absolutely everything, from absorbing body heat from working muscles and releasing it at your skin, to balancing your chemical pH and overall internal fluid levels.
Okay, let's actually deconstruct your blood. To see exactly how it pulls off all these simultaneous tasks, we kind of need to treat it like a complex recipe and physically separate out its ingredients.
Imagine we take a vial of whole blood, pop it into a glass tube, and put it in a centrifuge. If we spin it rapidly for about 10 minutes, something amazing happens. The components actually separate out perfectly based on their exact weight. This high-speed rotation breaks that single fluid down into a clear liquid matrix at the top and the much heavier formed elements down at the bottom. The spin reveals a pretty striking breakdown. Exactly 55% of that total volume is plasma, which is that lighter fluid sitting right at the top. Down at the very bottom, making up 44%, are the heavier erythrocytes. Those are your red blood cells. And sandwiched right in between those 2 massive layers, there's this tiny, incredibly thin, pale band making up less than 1% of the total volume. Scientists call that the Buffy coat, and it contains your leukocytes, or white blood cells, along with your platelets.
Now, I want to pause here for a quick, but really vital point of clarification about that top liquid layer. If you were to take that 55% plasma layer and medically extract the clotting factors from it, the fluid you're left with is what scientists call serum. It's a subtle distinction, sure, but it's a super important one to keep in mind when you're looking at medical science and diagnostics.
Now let's talk about the power of plasma, because it is definitely more than just water. Let's zoom right in on that top 55% liquid matrix.
While plasma is primarily 90% water, don't let that fool you into thinking it's simple. No way. That remaining 10% is packed with crucial dissolved proteins, circulating glucose for energy, mineral ions, complex hormones, and even dissolved carbon dioxide. It is a highly active, constantly working delivery matrix that literally never takes a break.
Think of those dissolved plasma proteins like specialized cargo ships, tirelessly floating around in that water. Albumins make up the bulk of the fleet at 60%.
They transport crucial substances like fatty acids and steroid hormones, while heavily contributing to colloid osmotic pressure. Next, you've got globulins, making up 35%. These act as your antibodies, the literal defenders of your immune system. And finally, fibrinogen. It makes up a small but extremely mighty 4%, producing these long, insoluble, fibrous strands of fibrin that form the essential blood clots needed to stop you from bleeding out when you get a cut.
Finally, let's meet the cellular workhorses. It's time to shift our focus away from the liquid plasma and look deeply at the fascinating formed elements at the bottom of our centrifuge tube. This microscopic view is just stunning. At 3,500 times magnification, we can actually see our cellular workhorses interacting in 3 dimensions. You can clearly see the intricate, almost textured surface of the white blood cells standing guard for your immune system. You can spot the irregularly shaped platelets just waiting to act as the emergency repair crew. And, of course, you see the smooth, iconic, almost donut-like shape of the red blood cells. Those red blood cells, or erythrocytes, are the true heavy lifters of this entire biological system. They're packed incredibly tight with the complex protein hemoglobin. This specific design makes them the ultimate transport vehicles. They are completely dedicated to carrying fresh oxygen to every single cell in your body, and then reliably transporting 23% of your total carbon dioxide waste right back to the lungs so you can exhale it. And to give you a truly mind-blowing sense of biological scale, just one single red blood cell contains an astounding 250 million hemoglobin molecules. I mean, think about that density for a second. 250 million. And your body isn't just making a few of these, it's continuously circulating trillions of these individual cells through miles of vessels right this very second.
Knowing that billions of these perfectly optimized multi-tools are rushing through you right now, balancing your internal temperature, fighting off microscopic invaders, and fueling your tissues to keep you alive, doesn't it make you view human biology with a newfound sense of genuine awe? Seriously, how will you view this incredible liquid connective tissue the next time you get a simple scratch? Something to think about. Thanks so much for exploring this with me, and I'll see you in the next explainer.